Hi, this is Roni, and this is my video response to Giddy4scrapbooking's 750 Subbie challenge. Traci's having a challenge, and the main things you have to have is layering, not just matting, and paint or ink. And these are some of the things I was thinking about using. I did not even come close to using them all, and I couldn't make up my mind the colors I wanted to use, so you will see some colors that I didn't use because I did finally make up my mind. And quite a few things that I didn't use. And I pulled all those stickers out because I couldn't make up my mind. And I ended up pulling one more set of stickers out. And some stamps I was thinking about using. Banners, arrows, and the cardstock you see right down there. I didn't use it. I didn't use neither one of the browns that I have laying there. I ended up pulling out another piece of cardstock. However, I did use some of the paper in here. And this is the Recollections Harvest Delight. And my daughter got it for me for Christmas. And I ended up pulling out several pages. I didn't use all of them, but I did use some of them. And like I said, you are going to see a cream colored cardstock right there that I didn't pull out. And that's the paint I'm going to use. And it's an art box. And it's watercolor, but it's in tubes. And I'm going to use some gesso because I want to kind of mimic mud on my layout since he is covered in mud. And I wanted the texture there. I didn't want to just paint it on, so I am painting. However, I am painting with paint and gesso. And I did squirt out way too much of the gesso. There is a big glob there that I don't use. I put some of it back in the jar, but it takes more paint there. Well, I did use pretty much all of that. There wasn't much left of that. And I live in Missouri, and we have a lot of clay in most of our dirt. And so I added some reddish color brown in with it because I didn't want it really the dark brown. I wanted to mimic the mud you usually see around here. And that's a Studio Calico mask I use. And I've used other masks, and this one's really thin. It was kind of hard to work with. It didn't want to stay still. I thought about kind of taping it down with some cardstock, and then I changed my mind. I said, oh, well, if it was messy, it's messy because he was messy. So here I am trying to put it all on there. And like I said, it's really thin, so it kept moving on the inside in between the chevrons. And the whole mask itself wasn't moving, just there. And I dried pretty quickly too, and I did want to splatter some on there since he had mud splattered on his face and his clothes. And so I'm going to use a fan brush to do my splattering and get it on the page. It's a little bit messy. My fingers were covered time I got done. I had to wash up before I could do anything else. I did dry it though before I went. But see, I'm using my left hand. Ambidextrous I am right there because my other hand is covered with paint. And that's a mesh, piece of mesh. It's called Magic Mesh. And I'm putting a little paint in the bottle with some water. And I'm going to use it to spray. I didn't have a brown spray that matched, so I am spraying it that way. And I just put just a tiny bit of water. It wasn't a whole lot. And that way I didn't have to put as much paint. And you probably can't tell in the video, but there is a grid from the mesh on there. And giving it, a little bit of different look back there. And it dries pretty quickly too. And there's the papers that I'm going to use. And I'm trying to decide which ones I want in the back and which ones in the front. And it does take me a few minutes to make up my mind. And I end up cutting a couple of them down after I get them all done. I rough up the edges. I ink the edges. I lay them down. I think about it and think, oh man, I covered up where I sprayed with the mesh. You can't even see it. I'm going to cut this down. So yeah, I cut it down. But at first it's a little bit bigger. I would have had less work if I had thought about that to start with, though. Yeah, here's what, this one's pretty good size, and it gets cut down quite a bit. It's funny how you put something down and have it in your mind and then forget all about it when you get your mind on something else. But here's where I'm going to ink all the edges that I've distressed and do it for nothing, and still have to go back and do some more inking because I cut it down some more. That one I don't. That one there stays the same. But the others, yeah, I do. See, it covers everything up. And I get the picture on there and I get to looking and I think, that's taking up most of my page and I can't see where I have the mesh. So I have to cut it down enough where I can see I have the mesh. The mesh mask, well, that's a hard word to say. Mesh mask. Oh, and I'm inking the edges there because they look kind of stark compared to everything else. I thought about pulling out the paint again, and I said it'd just be easier to ink the edges. And I decided I'm going to add a little bit of teal. I finally make up my mind. I had cardstock there, and then I had a piece of pattern paper, and I have no idea what company it's by. It was in my stash, and it's got green and teal polka dots on it. And I thought that it would go pretty good and add the little pop of color. And like I said, that paper's pretty thin. That piece right there isn't as thin as the others, but the paper's pretty thin, so I decided to add some twine, and it's kind of hard to do because it's so thin. I thought about putting that on both sides and changed my mind. So I'm just putting it on the one, and I'm roughing up the edges on the pieces that I want to use. You'll see me fiddle a lot. Yeah, I'm a fiddler. Oh, and this is where I remember my arrow stamp that I got from Tiffany Westbrook. I love that thing, so I'm always looking for a chance to use it. And I just rolled it across there and gave my layout just a little hint of the arrows rolling. And this is where I try to put that twine on there, and I don't want to pull it too tight because it just mess up the paper since it is really thin. So I'm trying to put it on there without it and work with adhesive too at the same time, so it does take me a minute to get it the way I want it. I might even went around the third time if it had been more cooperative, but it wasn't very. Yeah, and if I go put it down, then I decide I got to go up a little bit higher. So everything's going to get moved up. Yep, there it goes. Oh, this is where I decided to cut that one down. I didn't decide right off the bat to cut it down, but I did cut it down some more. A lot of fiddling, yeah. I'm a fiddler. It takes me a while to do a layout. That's why it has to be sped up, because I'm a fiddler. I do a lot of thinking, changing my mind. And there I got a stamp set out, and I thought about, it's got little footprints, and I thought about putting them on there, but I couldn't figure out where I wanted to put them, and chance me putting them and maybe them not turning out well, you know, the stamp not stamping well. I tested it, and it seemed to do all right, but I finally decided just to leave it and not put it on. If I wasn't determined to get this done today and upload it today, I might have messed with it, because I would have done the whole thing over again if I messed it up. But I wanted to get it uploaded today. And I'm going to make a banner with that one. And distressing it. It's kind of hard to distress it when it's that thin. It wants to tear way too easy on you. So you have to be pretty careful. And I do have a distresser somewhere. It's close to my heart one, but I don't know where it's at. It's small, so it's probably down in something, and I can't find it. It might even be in a tote where I went to a crop, but I couldn't find it. It wasn't in my carousel thing, so I just used my scissors. That's what I used before I got the distresser anyway. Trying to get it straight on there. Not that it's going to end up that straight, but I'm going to try to get it straight. And there's some more of that teal, and this is a little bit bluer because it's kind of variegated in color from the green to the blue. And this piece is just a little bit bluer than the other one. It has the same colors, only more of the blue. And I'm just repeating the same colors I have in the main part of the layout. See, it's a little bit crooked, but I end up straightening it. But I do it off camera, save a little bit of time because, man, this video is getting long. I'm so slow. So, yeah, I end up straightening it off of cameras. But it ends up straight in the end. Well, I think it's straight. Closer than it is right now, anyway. And my title's going to be Warning, He Likes Mud. And the font right there is American Crafts, and it's, I know I wrote it down, Chit Chat Thickers. And then that one's Jelly Bean Soup, Mushroom Gray, and that's what I did He Likes in. And then the other one that I end up pulling out that says Mud is Serenade, I believe. And I had just used them on another layout, and I remembered they were thicker and bigger, so I wanted them for the mud. And see how far over the He Likes is? The mud don't fit too well, so yeah, I got to move it over. Sometimes I use something to do my letters on ahead of time, and sometimes I don't. If I think they're going to fit easy enough, I don't. But if I think I'm going to have troubles, I do, so I can see if I need to change something or completely move my title and put it somewhere else. But see, it is crooked there, but when I get to actually get done with it, it's going to be straight. I just didn't notice it right then. And I just have to straighten those couple of banners. And it don't show up very good in the video, but on the layout it's not too bad. Because when you're actually looking at it, you can see the He Likes a lot better. And I do take a marker and go over the letters to make them show up just a little bit more. And then I decide to outline everything. Yeah, I'm not doing the faux stitching, not this time. I'm actually just doing outlining and doing a little bit messy. I like the messy look. And just going over all the pieces. And I don't know if I did it on video or not, but when I go to take, I think it's when I go to take the pictures, I decided to go ahead and outline the background paper too. And then there's a cluster that I forgot to outline, and I outlined it when I got ready to take the pictures. And that's a sticker set, and it's by Moments, and it's an adventure sticker. It's a one of those resin ones, I think. What are they called? But anyway, that is like a canvas piece of cloth with some brads, and it was the only one in the pack like that, so that's the only place I have to put that. And I put a little tiny Tim Holtz paper clip and some twine, and it looks like I've got it on there, but that paper clip's so tiny that I just glued it on top of it. Oh, I'm doing my outline on this now. So it's just the little cluster that I outline later, because I forgot. And I did notice it. Well, I think I took the first picture and deleted it and then redone it. And this is a Studio Calico Cork arrows, and I put an arrow down there in the bottom one, and so I wanted to put the cork in 2 places at least. I was planning on 3, but I forgot and just now thought of it while watching the video, so I don't have it in the other place. And that Explorer, I do not know what sticker set those are from. Epoxy, that's the word I was hunting for a while ago. But it's an epoxy sticker, and so is the Adventure. Anyway, I thought I was done. I was showing it to you. Then I thought, nope. I got to do something else. So here I am doing something else. And these are Lawn Fawn wood veneers. And I got a hashtag and Gage, Gage, that's his name. And I'm painting them with the same brown that I used. And I didn't use my heat gun on them. I tried to use my heat gun before, but they go flying across there. And that's some ribbon that I had. It kind of reminded me of the embellishment that I put down at the bottom with the brads. And I wanted something texture-wise that was similar, so I'm putting, gluing my letters onto there. And it's going to go in a little embellishment up there at the top. A little cluster. But I'm making this embellishment off to the side so that I won't get paint everywhere. Of course, it was dry by the time I was doing that. And I'm going to add a couple of brads in there. And I started out with my piercer when I started the layout, but somehow I lost it, so I had to use my scissors or keep hunting for it. So I decided I didn't want to keep hunting for it. And so, yeah, I used my scissors. And I'm trying to get the brad little clippy things to go down. And I'm going to make a small banner there and do some layering there. Of course, I have to distress it to match everything else. And I'm hunting the mesh, and I had a piece laid out that wasn't very big, and I was going to use it, but I couldn't find it. It was stuck to the elbow of my shirt, so I had to cut another one. It does have a sticky back, so it sticks to quite a few things. And that's the one that I was talking about that I had to go back and outline because I didn't have it outlined. And I'm taking another one of the tiny Tim Holtz paper clips and putting it on there. And then I can't find my piece of twine that I just had, and so I go ahead and cut another one and tie it again. And then I find it later when I go to take the pictures, because I picked the layout up and it fell on my layout. There it is. You've seen it right there with the mud looking stuff. Yeah, I didn't see it till just now, but it fell off, so it didn't make it to the final pictures. Thank goodness. Anyway, there's Gage and that cluster. And there's my mud. Looks pretty muddy, don't it? And there's the cork arrow and the epoxy sticker. And a little bit of twine. And there's the adventure. And it is brown. It don't quite look brown there, but it is. It does have speckles of greenish teal. And there's that piece that was on that one grouping of stickers that was wooden. Anyway, that's my layout. Go on over to Traci's channel. Congratulations, Traci, on your 750 subbies. And, well, I think she's got more than that now. But go check her channel out. Go join her challenge. And have fun. And thank you all for watching. And thank you for the challenge, Traci. Bye.